spend that so much time in prepping up their vegetables and everything. So we came across an idea that has already been introduced in other countries, but we thought of starting it in India. It's an app where you can order about a dish. Like suppose you want to cook a particular dish, but you are not aware of how many ingredients or how much ingredients goes in it, and you don't want to prep up your vegetables, so they can order from us, and we are gonna like according to their dish, we are gonna prep up their vegetables, and we're gonna pack the ingredients according to it. It can also be like day-to-day subscription and monthly subscription, and we can provide them with recipes as well. So uh, but I am not sure how much and how sustainable this idea will be in India. So can you please guide me over it?
Sure. That sounds interesting. So you will, I think, by end of the workshop, you should know, I think that's my responsibility. By end of the workshop, you should be able to know whether this idea is sustainable or not. Like after kind of iterating on those points, which I'm going to talk about. So Jayesh, so this is your idea. And one more thing, so ideas are very powerful, okay, guys? Not generally people share their ideas, so I just believe you guys are all honest, and whatever ideas we are sharing are gonna be inside this room. Okay, cool. Just hoping at least 3 more ideas from you guys.
Ma'am, hello, ma'am.
Hi, Bhushan.
Ma'am, I have an idea.
Yes.
Actually, my team has an idea. It's like a kind of an Amazon shopping center, but not exactly like Amazon. See, Amazon has, uh, you name a thing, you get it on the site. It itself says A to Z things are available on a site. So I have an idea like when we prepare for competitive exams like JEE, NEET, CAT, GMAT, GATE, etc., we go to buy books, but sometimes we go to Instagram pages and then we can buy books, but a lot of price they ask for the books. So what I want is I want to create an app where people can get only books, a books shopping site kind of thing. Ma'am, you are mute.
Thanks, Bhushan, for sharing your idea. Sounds interesting. Who is gonna go next? We have so many people, right?
Hello, ma'am. This is Rahul.
Rahul. Hi, Rahul. Yeah, tell me about
Yes,
your
ma'am.
idea.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I have an idea about making a smart home automation system which is not dependent upon any appliance.
Okay.
This is basically designing a system through which the people from middle or you can say that middle class family, people belonging from, they also can achieve the facility of a smart home or a smart home system, like controlling all the appliances through using their own smartphone, or using the voice, or something like all the devices are controlled through sensors, and it is also very cost effective. Means you don't need to change all the appliances that you are using in your home previously.
Okay. So in short, you want to make smart home automation for mid-class family so that they can also enjoy and reap the benefits of technology, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Rahul. It will be very useful for me also. Cool.
Can I speak, ma'am?
Next. Yes.
So, ma'am,
Can you
my idea is
introduce Palash? Hi,
I am Palash
Palash.
Gupta.
Nice
So,
to meet you.
my idea is
Yeah, please.
basically it would be an app which would be basically, I would not say rather a substitute, but an app like Ola and Uber, which would basically be connecting all the types of electric vehicles in the market for taxi purposes and for renting purposes.
Okay.
So there are two things which I want to include here. One is that in our near future, we would be seeing electric vehicles market grow rapidly, and
Hmm.
also with the petrol and diesel ban in countries like UK from 2030 would also create some effect in the Asian countries and in India also. So the sustainability for petrol and diesel would basically reduce, what I think. So
Okay.
if this thing starts from this lineage, we can see some growth. We can see
Okay.
some support from our government also.
Okay. So there is one single problems in all of these ideas. Though ideas are very good, they are all solving a lot of problems. But again, when you see the way everybody has narrated the ideas, right? There's a very very big problem in all of these four ideas. Does anyone wants to take a crack at it, or we'll come back on these things. All ideas are great. Ideas are always great. Uh, but again, when you have to make it a business model, how should you approach these ideas? So let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Uh, can each of you vote for which idea you like the most and why?
Ma'am, may I?
Who? Yes.
Ma'am, I
Who's
like Gaurav.
you like?
I like Palash idea, ma'am. His idea
Palash
is
idea.
like, yes, ma'am. That idea
Why
has
you
scope
liked
in
it?
future. That idea has scope in future, ma'am. Because as
So
the
basically, you
petrol,
are saying, so as a you consumer, you will use that service
yes,
or
ma'am.
not. If
I
so,
might.
let's say I'll give you two options.
Okay,
Let's say you have to go from place A to B. It with EV it takes 20 hours, and sorry, let's say from EV vehicle, if there is no traffic, it's taking to 2 hours and 200 rupees. And similarly, if the diesel vehicle are available, it's taking half of the time and half of the money. So which one will you choose?
ma'am. That will be other situation. Like I will
No,
choose
no, that is not
diesel.
others. No, no, I'm just asking a very, very simple question, right?
Okay, I'll choose
Let's say the
the diesel
price
one.
is same, the time is half. Let's make it simple for you.
Yet I will choose the diesel one.
Okay. So, as a consumer, though you like the idea, but you're not gonna pay for it. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying,
ma'am.
right? Okay. But that's cool. I think one vote for Palash. Anyway, anybody else?
Ma'am, I would like to go with Jashi's idea.
Okay.
Kevin
Uh,
here, ma'am.
Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Can
Hello,
you
ma'am.
can you tell me why?
Ma'am, because other three ideas are not that relevant to if we think of targeting the whole population. Jashi's idea is way more better, and it can have a small plan of action, or it's very easy to operate that task, and it can be a basic need for a small person also, and for a big one also. It doesn't require the financial stability of a person, and it might be economically viable rather than other three. The books, if I think about the books idea, I can get ebooks, I can get books from the library. If I think about home decoration and what the person said, automation system, many people are there who like to decorate their home on their own, because it depends on the individuality and the type which they want to decorate. And the last one, as you suggested, the time difference can make a big problem.
No. So I just make it hypothetical problem. I just asked. So let
Yes,
me
ma'am.
ask you something similar. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So so let's say what would you prefer? You will prefer the ingredients of the dish or the dish itself?
Ma'am, dish itself.
Definitely
Okay.
dish itself.
Okay. So
Excuse me,
you
ma'am.
guys are
But ma'am,
getting, yeah, no,
but
no,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah, please tell me.
But what if is this like I want to learn how to make the dish to make it more better for me. I cannot
It
order the
is,
dish every single time.
so yeah, I am coming
Ma'am,
to that. You are
excuse me,
actually
ma'am.
making my case better. Yeah, please. Can you introduce
Ma'am,
yourself
yes,
and
ma'am.
then?
I'm Naman Vashish, ma'am. I'm in Jayashree's team as well, and I'm also helping her in this idea. So actually, ma'am, the real motto of us is we have been following some apps like Blue Apron that are working in UK and US. And ma'am, actually, the sole purpose of the app is that nowadays people still wants to cook at home, but they don't want to go to restaurant and they want to know what they are cooking. Right. So, ma'am, we will be providing half prepared meals. Like we will be cutting the vegetables and stuff
So
and giving
basically, like ID dosa better
uh not like basically like that, but
or
yeah.
paratha or ID parotha.
No, ma'am, it will be full meal courses. It will be
So basically,
serving
Instamart.
very niche population that is way too busy to prep for their own food, but
So
they want to cook for
so
their own.
niche population that me and how much. So yeah. So look, everything is good. Every idea is very good. Every idea is solving a problem. But you all guys are forgetting the main thing. You're forgetting the customers. You all want to build apps. You all are starting that we want to build app which is in UK, but you are not doing your customer research.
Ma'am,
Yes, Naman.
actually, that's the half of it. We will be also selling normal groceries and delivering that to home as well.
But look, what you are selling, it's again, it's you will be having a lot of competition, right, in that sector, if I'm not
Right,
wrong,
right,
right?
right.
Again, you have to understand the customers in India. You are not doing that part. That's what I'm saying. None of you guys are, and which is very common in lot of the startups. There is a video because of some issue. Even if I play video, I will not. The sound is not coming. Some issue at my end, I think. But that's one thing. So 80% of the startups, the failure rate of startups is 99%. Okay, but 80% of them fail because the consumer is not ready to accept those things. So, all app building, all smart homes for middle class, everything is amazing. The ideas are amazing, but you have to first do your market research to check whether customer need that, customer is ready for that, and who are your customer segments. Because once you decide who are your customer segments, then only you're gonna decide whether by making the whole MVP or a product, you will be able to generate revenue, right? If suppose you are making an app for a certain group of people, which accounts for a very limited population, and your profit margins are also very low. So you will never be able to make revenue which will support the company, right? Uh, let's say uh, people appreciate your idea. People are very happy with your idea. They appreciate it. You will come into a lot of interviews, but again, you will never make revenue. What that will cause is eventually that will lead to that will eventually lead for you to dilute your business. So what I'm telling you right now is these all ideas can be transformed into great business generating ideas if you just take a little bit better approach of going this. So let's start with one Jayashree's idea. So let's understand what are we will all be doing hypothetical uh, you know thinking right now, and let's take hypothetical data also to just build these things. I also want to teach today. Actually, I wanted to teach you lean business canvas model. So whenever you get an idea, this is a very simple lean canvas model. If you Google it, right, you will get a lot of. Yes, Shri, I think either you can play with your mobile, which is very good. Even I have my mobile right now. But
No,
yeah,
no, ma'am. It was regarding my team is Bhushan only, and I was talking about that only.
no,
Something.
no, that's cool. I kind of like picking on people, so yeah, it's okay.
Very sorry.
No, 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 no need to be sorry. So, what we are gonna do today is let's transfer one of these ideas into billion-dollar ideas. Okay. So what I'm saying is, what you want to do is forget about what you in UK is happening, what in America is happening, uh, because the way people live in different countries is very different, right? UK people like eating frozen food. Uh, do you think Indian people like that?
No, ma'am.
Just tell your parents,
No,
uh,
ma'am.
just tell your parents, you can just save this and then you can eat it. They will be very angry, right? And you know how much part of the consumers is. So you have to think, which they were also rightly thinking, there is a niche portion of people who want to eat at home food, who want to cook also, who want to learn cooking also, and but they don't want to buy restaurant food. Especially I reside in Bangalore. Okay, I don't like. I'm from another part of the country, so I always have developed the taste. So whenever I'm this part of the country, I always feel like cooking, but then I don't have time. So I am a person who likes cooking but don't have time. So that is one customer target customers you have. So first understand who are gonna who you can target using your product. So the customers who want to cook but don't have time, right? I'm just kind of giving an approach. You have to do further. You have to do a lot of market research. All the successful startups have done at least of 2 years of market research. So you have to do a lot of market research. You have to understand the sentiments of the customer, what they want, what they don't want, why also, right? Why they want a particular thing. And again, then what you are saying, right? It's a use case mapping. So what you are saying is people who want to learn food. Okay, if I want to learn food, why will I get raw ingredient? I can get raw ingredients also, right? So, what is the so that will come into later. First, let's define the target customers. So, one customer is work. I think working people, working couples basically, because both of those I have not time. Working couples, working man, woman. I think second is lazy people who really want to eat a lot, but they don't want to cook a lot. I think the third category can be of the people who are very diet conscious. So they want to eat, they don't have time to cook, but they still want to cook at home. So I think just doing random things, just defining your target customers, and then after you define a target customers. So generally, when you define this lazy and diet owner will come into the characteristics of these customer. So you generally define when you say target customers, you define their demographics based on their demographic. What is their income group? What is their lifestyle? And on those basis, you kind of define your target customers, and then you define their characteristics. So lazy, dieting, uh, want to learn cooking food. All these things will come into the characteristics of these customers. Why you need to define these target customers and characteristics of customers? Because your marketing campaigns will be based on that, right? So you are selling something. How will you talk to your customers? Then what Naman said, right? If you want to learn how to cook food, you can always use our products. So that will also transform into your marketing campaign. Similarly, what Palash said about EV vehicles, right? So why EV vehicles? Yeah, company UK is banning, India will also ban in some time, but that's not the problem, right? Actually, EV vehicles, the one problem with electric vehicles is they are a bit slow. They don't catch up that speed, but yeah, with Tesla coming in India, you never know. with the technology people are working, you never know. But you have to understand, okay, EV vehicle, who are the target customers. So for EV vehicle, I think those people who are very uh, very careful about sustainable living, who understand that diesel, petrol, and all these things are causing harm towards the environment. I think they will be uh, more looking forward for EV vehicle. Then I'm not sure about the price. If definitely if you can reduce down the price, then you will have one more cost conscious people, right? So that's how you have to think of the customer segments whom you're going to target for your solution. So what you have to start with is always a problem. So when you say that I want to build an app, no, I want to solve a problem for people who want to cook at home but can't cook at home. So they will be able to cook at home using my products. So that is your problem statement you are solving. These are your customers segments. Similarly, I want to create a amalgamation of electric vehicles so that people can use better choices and save our planet from pollution. So that's the problem you are solving, and then whatever you have to do to solve that problem, that will come your way. So that's the way you should start thinking, not the other way around. Is always uh, Technology is not the solution. Okay, technology is a way to find the solution, or way to propose a solution. First, always start with a problem. Always think what is the minimal. Okay, always think how minimally you can solve that consumer problem. So, and then understand who are the customers. Whenever you develop something, you need first round of customers. So always identify those first round of customers so that you can start your marketing channels, marketing and all that, which comes under channels. So basically, once you have defined the characteristics of customers, you have defined the customers, you can always create a path to go to these customers and reach out to them and ask them to adopt your solution. Once you have defined the channel path, before this and parallel to this, you can say you have to understand whatever solution you are going to build, what will be the cost structure for it, how much you have to invest. So let's say you want to build an app, okay, for giving out the ingredients. What you have to do, you have to build a small team to test your hypothesis, or build an MVP. So MVP stands for minimum viable product. So you never start with a big bang. You always start with small. Check with the customers, understand whether they are liking it. And if you see the stories of Airbnb, um, when they started right after the the big recession which happened, they started with a very simple site, with say rent home, lent home. Okay, so that was their MVP, and then when they started getting traction, they started making it much more better. So earlier, when you wanted to book a home at Airbnb, you will click. They'll show you the places which are available and one two photo, but you have to call them and to book the home. And there were two persons who were the founders of Airbnb at that point in time. They used to take that call. Similar thing is happened with Flipkart also. They wanted to start with book selling, so they went and they you used to talk to the customer, hand them over the books, and understand what they want else. So they understood, okay, this is what else they want, and then they started with different categories. They started onboarding more categories on their platform. So you always start with something minimal, and then always have a unique value proposition. All right. Uh, you always need to have unique value proposition. Your idea can be similar or an extension of something, right? But you have to always make it more focused towards your customer segments. So let's say you are saying this is already functional in some other countries, you know. But when you have to make it functional in your country, there will always be certain things which will speak more to your customers. So those are the points which you have to implement. And then one more thing, why you need to have a UVP, USP, or is because if you can develop it in 6 months or 7 months of time, who is stopping somebody else, some big company, to acquire it in lesser time, because they have much better resources, they have much better team. So why they can't copy your model? So you always have to be very sure of your USP, your what you are going to offer, how you're going to save other from copying the same model. So you always need to have that kind of feature in your startup, or when you're framing your idea into a product. Obviously, once you have defined the cost structure, you have understand the customer segment, how you will market it, then you have to also give a thought how you're going to generate revenue, right? Because even going to angel investors, or and investors above that, you have to show that my idea has some strength, it can actually generate revenue, because you have to project. That's why, how do you project, right? So whenever you say, if I invest 100 rupees, I'm gonna get 120 rupees. So you draw this map on paper, but then you have to test it, right? So that's where the revenue streams come in. You have to understand, okay, how I'm going to charge my customers, whether I'm going to charge for delivery, whether I'm going to charge for products, whether I'm also going to charge when they're going to download an app. So what are my different revenue model? Or also, whoever vendors is going to onboard on my web application, I'm going to also take a success fee from them. So what all are your revenue model? You have to think about it, so that you can make a future cross projections. Apart from that, obviously, solution comes into picture, which is very simple. You suggest three problems, you select a solution. Uh, a key metrics is basically what are the key activities, how you can measure your success of your products or services, whatever you are going to offer to the consumers. Then there always, it's not, whenever you build something, not everything is perfect. That's where unfair advantage comes into picture, which I have kind of talked about uh, before also. How do you make sure that your model of business cannot be copied easily? It should take certain time, so that by that time you are well settled in the market. So those are the 9 things. So basically, these are nine steps which you should think in this order. So if you think of each and every, let's get back to the ideas again. So if you think these all ideas have a lot of potential, but they're not sorted. So if whenever you are explaining also, right, to me, you are starting that I want to build an app. Oh, there are so many apps. So it's not exciting me. But when you come into the third point, you know, or the second point. So, Jayashri, when you said, okay, consumer do not want to prepare food, I understood, okay, they are going somewhere. Then you say the dish ingredients can be available and then they cook. When Navan came into picture, he explained me one more point. Okay, there are people who want to learn to cook and then they want to get. And actually, it happened with me. I always wanted to learn how to cook biryani, but I didn't have patience to, work all the masala up. So there was a fresh biryani masala available, and I kind of bought a lot of things. So these are the kind of things you also need to put in your personal experience. See around yourself, talk to your parents, talk to your friends. Apply these kind of learnings to them, because they'll give you idea. They are at the end gonna be the consumer for you. So talk to them, understand what they're thinking about your idea. That's how you collect the data. Coming to Bhushan's idea also, uh, again, not exactly. So he started with, I want to create something like Amazon. No, Amazon is already there. So the problem is, what I gonna do differently? Books are sold on that. What one idea which I always have is, from my personal experience, everybody wants to buy second-hand book. Even I don't know any platform right now where I can sell my second-hand, my old books. you know so you have to think. So now I'm telling you my problem. So as a
Uh,
person, I've always faced a problem that I'm not able to sell my old books, or I don't know any platform right now which is famous where I can buy second hand books.
excuse me, ma'am, if may I
Yeah,
interrupt.
yeah, please.
Actually, ma'am, the idea is entirely based on the academic side of books, be it secondary books, be it maps, be it
so
books for
so let's,
NCRTs that
Bhushan, I talked about like for 30 minutes. Let's not talk in terms of books, let's talk in terms of customers. Which are the customers you are talking about?
ma'am, we would be targeting age group of 17 years to 28.
Hmm. Uh, what are they doing? What are their characteristics?
Yes, ma'am. Nearly about at an age of 17 to 18, we pass our 12s and then we go into the competitive world, be it JE or anything else.
Okay.
So,
So,
ma'am,
huh. Yeah, please.
yeah. So, ma'am, we would be doing like that. Ki if there are many pages on Instagram, Facebook, normally between the ads that give a book. My friend had once ordered a book. It was a simple book for JE. He ordered, and the price was around 5,000 for that book. And the same book was given at a price of 750 or 800 on the shop. So, what see the price difference when we get it from pages, some website links and website pages, and when we get it from shop. So I want to create a shop like environment in the phone itself, in the way of an app.
Okay. Gotta frame it much more better. Uh, you know, Basically, now you have to also think more about it. You are saying age group, you're also talking about cost conscious. Uh, Whether it's a second hand book or first hand book, I'm not getting that clarity from you. If you are saying that there is a price gap for a same first hand book, 5,750, that can happen actually, because that can also happen. But yeah, you need to frame this up. I think that's what your next step is. You guys have to frame this up. So frame this up. First thing about the customers you are targeting. What first thing about the problems you are solving? Okay, so basically you are bridging the gap, the cost gap for students for the books, right? Then what are the customers? You have already commented that 17 to 24, basically college going students, or passing out 12th and all that, right? So think in that manner, how you are gonna earn your revenue also. What To make an app, what will it cost you? What is your USP, man? Our other Amazon site is doing this, Flipkart site is doing it. So why people are gonna onboard on your site when they already have their Amazon and Flipkart app downloaded in the mobile? Why they just particularly want to, you know?
Excuse
So
me,
yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but me, Bhushan, and Yashashri are the team. Ma'am, I want to clarify one thing. That is, you just
Actually,
said, no. Then
Chelsea,
what is the difference between? Yes,
yeah,
Chelsea,
please,
ma'am, Chelsea.
yeah, please go ahead, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Should I continue?
Yeah, yeah, please, please.
Okay, ma'am, you just said na, that what is the difference between Amazon and what is the difference between Flipkart? But what we guys observed is,
So Chelsea, yeah.
yes,
So you
ma'am.
don't have to tell me when you're explaining this to, when you're making a business model, you have to put it very
Yes, ma'am.
clearly.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
when Bhushan started telling about, he told me we want to create something like Amazon. Then he said not something like Amazon. So that's that's not the way you should give introduction for your startup. Do you
Okay,
agree with
ma'am.
me?
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
So when you put a slide together, right, you always put a business model together.
Yes, ma'am.
When you put a unique proposition, that's where you have to, whatever you're gonna about to tell me, right, You have to put that point in that thing, so that whoever you are presenting this business model, right? Because it's your responsibility also. uh, you get 2 to 3 minutes to present your business model, right? And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
you have to make 100% use out of that. You have to put all these points, whatever you're thinking. I'm pretty sure you must have thought about your USP,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
then you have to clearly say. So let's say, let me talk about one of the startup, right? uh, there is always an elevator pitch you have to prepare for a startup. So you have to an elevator pitch comes off what the problem is, what the problem you are solving. So let's say I am solving the problem of particular thing for particular customers by doing this thing, and this is something which is not available in the market. However, whatever is available in the market is missing XYZ things. So this whole sentence kind of construct your introduction to your startups. So that's what you have to do, right? So I'm kind of highlighting your bits and pieces which you are missing, so that you can fill this up. Then coming to Rahul, uh, again, same problem. What I see is you have to first check whether the middle class family is opening up for smart home automation, right? So again, you have to. Its idea looks very interesting. Idea looks very interesting, but again, you have to also do the same exercise of understanding the consumers. uh, okay, I'll just slow down for some time. Yeah. Your sister is or siblings are shouting or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no issue.
Sorry for
No issues. Cool. I think that's the same. That's a problem we all are facing, right? We are all from home. So how long you guys have been studying from home? Almost 1 year, right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. So, what I'm saying, Rahul, is you also need to think in terms of consumers, whether mid-class families are ready for automation, right? Whether they are ready to talk to Alexa, turn my light on, and all that. And how do you decrease the cost down? So, all these things you need to think about. And then, obviously, this is something, everybody is building a lot of smart devices, and the Alexa also, and all these things, right? They are kind of taking away the market. So obviously you also have to start with the same framework which I'm trying to convey.
Ma'am,
The consumer.
I have already uh, thought about all the point that you have mentioned. Ma'am, may I continue in Hindi, ma'am? I'm
Yes, yes, please.
more comfortable in Hindi. मैम जैसा आप बता रहे हो वो सारे पॉइंट मैं कंसिडर किया, सिर्फ मैं एक पॉइंट को मतलब सर्वे नहीं किया हूँ कि क्या सारे मिडिल क्लास फैमिली क्या इस चीज को अपनाने के लिए तैयार है कि नहीं, ये चीज
Actually, the
वो
thing
मैं
is,
सिर्फ नहीं कंसिडर किया हूँ
so
अभी तक.
I'll tell you one thing. When you are targeting middle class family, right? So one thing you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
always understand, you can't restrict your customers. You are gonna offer products, but if you are getting the same thing for X minus Y price, why will and some upper class also will not buy it, right? So that's the
Yes,
one thing
ma'am.
which I also think can come as a confusion. So because like Bhushan, you were saying, right? We just want to start with this problem. I'm telling you a consumer problem, right? I have a lot of books. I don't know where to sell. That is also a problem, right? So you gonna say to the consumer that no, this is only what we are gonna do. We are doing, and this is only what we are gonna do, and we are not gonna come back to your problem. So you always have to take consumer problems, because when you start your journey, you always come across a lot of consumer problems, which you, when you were building the idea, didn't think of. But you know, when you went very close to your customers, you understood, and then you integrate that in the business. Even if you see in the market, right, a lot of startups have done that. So Paytm also, right? Paytm started with a payment option. I think it started with a mobile recharge company. Okay. Now you see they have a wallet, they have a Paytm mall. They now they are getting into bank, right? So this is how actually you expand. So you start with something which is good, I think, which you should stick to as well. But then always understand more consumer problems. What are they asking more from you? And then you keep integrating so that you also expand into different business models. And then coming to Palash, just to let you know, Palash, I have a special experience in EV vehicles because I mentor a lot of sustainable startups across the country, and I also run a small organization where we focus on sustainable um, solutions, assistive tech, civic tech, and everything else. So actually, the thing is right, but one of my thing is you have to you have to focus more on cost and revenue structure for this problem, because logistics, when you get into logistics of anything, even building an app and everything for logistics, you have to need to have a lot of experience about this supply chain. It's in itself is a very very difficult domain to get into, and the cost are very very high. So MVP development will also, will let you the actually will cost you a lot of money. And just to let you know, actually, in Bangalore, a lot of auto drivers are kind of switching to this. There is a one model of Mahindra which is run by electricity. So things are happening. Keep an eye. You have to just think more, because this is again. So what you are saying, you want to develop something. What is stopping Ola and Uber to book integrate EV vehicles in their portfolio, right? So again, this something related with USP is a problem here. But yeah, rest of the thing, it's very good to hear that people like you are thinking about electric vehicles and all that, and into sustainability terms. So cool. I think we have 15 more minutes.
Ma'am, can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
Like, ma'am, you said the first mistake we did is we did not look into the consumer base. So, how do we understand that the product we are thinking of or the solution we are thinking of does help the consumer? What type of customer is it helping? Can you
Yes,
give us some explanation on
I was
that?
just actually coming to that, because through that time I have also done a lot of, whenever I interact with startups, right? I have also seen the rest of the part is very clear to them, creating cost, revenue, and all these things. Obviously, you are students, you will also take some time to learn about all these things. There are term sheets, cap tables, and a lot of other things. But what I see a lot of time missing is the market research. So, Palash, the answer to your question is market research. Then market research is also a very big domain. So this is some problem which I have seen across the interacting with startups from different countries. Um, uh, few of the countries spend a very little time. Few of the startups spend very little time in understanding the consumer base, in doing market research. um, when I say market research, it can be done into different ways. So there are a lot of resources which are available. Try following all these startup enabling organizations like NASCOM, Derby Foundation, TI Bangalore. Like TI has different chapters across India. I think there is TI Jaipur as well. So what they do is they kind of create a lot of reports, and a lot of people, a lot of corporates, a lot of users come into different forums where they're organized, and they talk openly about the problems they're facing. So that is one thing. Listening is one thing. You have to listen to people, you know you have to start listening, you have to start going. So you will see, wherever you see electric vehicle, read the articles. What are the problems, what are the problems the researchers are facing, what are the problems consumers are facing. Like I asked a counter question to him, right? Yeah, two people have raised the hand, Ayushi and Nandini.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
So, ma'am, in this meeting, there are many students who don't know about the basics of the business model, like four P's, STPs, how to find that customer, how to do that market research. So, can you throw some light on this?
Yes, sure.
What are the types of this and all these very basic details?
Okay. So where like from like 0 t minus 1.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Some
Ma'am,
students
so
are like, yes,
I
ma'am.
was,
So
I'm sorry, can I ask? Ma'am, you just named a few companies, I think regarding this market. Ma'am, could you please repeat those?
yeah, so you can write NASCOM.
Yes, ma'am.
NASCOM is basically uh, they want to find 10,000 startups. They have already helped 7,000 plus startups. Then there are a lot of government organizations. You can check out Startup India.
Yes.
So Startup India has different chapters, again for every state, and they do lot for young entrepreneurs. Then Derby Foundation and
Can you
TIE.
repeat the last one?
Derby, DERBI, Derby Foundation. Then there is Deshpande Foundation also. It's mostly focused on young entrepreneurs. Then there are a lot of AICs. This is Atal Incubation Centers. So they publish a lot of research, a lot of reports and everything. So, Ayushi was also telling what are the basics of like 4Ps and all that. But I don't want to get into terms. I'll tell you a very practical way of doing consumer research. So let's say I have an idea. I want to see whether this idea is feasible and can be converted into a meaningful venture. So what I generally do is, first of all, Google. I love Google. I love researching on internet. In internet, don't go to the sites which are not giving you any information, but go to sites like there are statistics reports, uh, there are research reports. So you have to go through them. You'll understand what are the problems in EV and all these industries people are facing, right? So you can go all these through the reports. The best thing which I like, which has been very helpful, there are a lot of frameworks, but what I consider most helpful is talking to the people. Okay, experimenting with the consumer itself. So I'll tell you a very interesting story by, if you have heard of Goli Vada Pav. I'm not sure whether it's in Jaipur or not.
Yes, ma'am,
uh,
it is.
it
Yes,
is.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. So Goli Vada Pav, um, you know, they wanted to understand with the Vada Pav, what is the famous drink which will go in hand into hand. So what they did is they put up a stall of Vada Pav, and you pay discounted rate for the Vada Pav, and then they had a drinks stall. So once you take up the vada pav, you have to pick up one drink. That's the condition they put in. So what? And then they collected that data. So basically, when we talk about understanding, the market research and consumer segments, the data play a lot of role. Um, so when they collected the data, they found out that with vada pav, people were picking actually masala chai, which for me was all yeah, kind of amazing, because always with oily you want to pick something which is refreshing. So they were also shocked, because they first, when the committee was setting up for this thing, when they were putting up the beverage stall, they were not even thinking of putting this masala chai, because they thought, who will like oily and hot combination. So the best answer is to talk to the consumer. I'll talk a little bit for 2 minutes about design thinking. So sorry. So design thinking is another way, where you kind of make sure your idea is feasible. So whenever you are starting a particular idea, like you are starting in a team of people, somebody has market experience, somebody has a bit of technical experience, and then you also come from a different personalities. So you have to understand, be open to each other, uh, empathize with the consumer, put yourself in the shoes of the consumers, understand, what they exactly, if you have been into this place, what would you have exactly done. So as I asked a counter questions, right? If suppose the price is different, which will you pay for? Similar questions you ask, you challenge your own idea yourself and find answers. Think about in what way this particular idea can go wrong. That's where you find the solution and you make that idea much better. So these are few things. I think 1 hour is a very limited time to cover a lot of things, but yeah. You can actually I can share a few more resources with Sakshi and Ayushi later after this call, which can actually list down all these things. You know what resources you can look for the market research, and I think I'm not able to cover the 4 Ps and other frameworks, but I can share some slides over to you, guys,
Excuse
in some. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Sorry to
ma'am, may
disturb,
I
but
ask
ma'am,
something?
can you just list basic element which we need to put down in the presentation while making a business model so that we don't get a wrong part while explaining our idea? Some basic thing like how to decide price and promotional channel, etc. So it's just like we have everything which go for the better a part of our entrepreneurship or what the startup we are going to do, but it shouldn't be like while presenting the idea we get the thing wrong over there. So main thing will be distorted now if you are not able to deliver it properly. Ma'am, you are muted.
Yeah, sorry. So let me. I have this. I'm just gonna share this with you. Okay.
Ma'am, ma'am, if you can share, we have a little bit more time. If you are free, we can extend it 5 to 10 minutes more. No issue in that.
I have to go actually.
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Really
ma'am.
really sorry, man. I was also
It's okay, ma'am.
enjoying. Like you guys have been superb. I've never seen so many people talk back. Generally, people don't talk back, and I'm getting a lot of questions, and I'm able to answer. It's been very nice. I
It's
think
okay, ma'am.
we can take out time some other day and we can discuss. But this is the uh, uh, but this is a simple structure, right? You always start with purpose. So this is something which I have also, integrated here. Uh, so I always want people to give me a one liner or three liner or two liner, not more than three liner in any case, about their company or about their business. What are their business model about? So, like the sentence I say, we are doing this to solve this for this, and that's it. And how, obviously. Then, who are your target customers and what problem of theirs are you solving? What is your unique offering, including features you offer? How will you make money, and what are the revenue and cost drivers? And then, who all are in your team? Because team is very important. uh, is anybody advising you, is anybody mentoring you, and all those things. So all these 5 things, so I say them 5 factors for any elevator pitch or any pitch. Purpose, problem, offering, which kind of also comes the 4 Ps which Ayushi was asking me to talk about. So I generally don't take 4 Ps. I only consider 2 Ps which are very important, is purpose and problem. Generally, if you see the older frameworks which kind of talk about 4 Ps and all that, I'll also send you one. You also check out one more deck by the new way of making presentation. So nowadays, people are more interested in understanding where is your revenue coming from. So when you talk about business model, how you're gonna make your money, how you're gonna charge your customers, how you're gonna charge your vendors, how you're gonna make your revenue out of it. So these are the 5 things, whenever you are starting this thing. So I'll just do one thing very quickly, as a last note
Ma'am,
from my side. Yeah.
actually, when we do market research, we need to explain our idea to many people. And let's say my idea is not registered yet, and I have not registered it as a private limited or a proprietarian,
You don't have to. That
and
is
also
legal.
I have not.
Nandini, just a second, just a second. I'll just tell
Also,
you quickly.
there are chances of copying the idea. So how to cope up
No, no,
with it?
Nandini. So again, Nandini, I talked about MVP. Okay. Whenever you uh, LLP registration, proprietary registration, it actually takes 1 month of time and maximum of 20,000
Yeah.
rupees. Okay, so even if
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
so that's a legal part of it. I'm very happy that person like you is asking legal question, because even the fancy startups out there, have not even done LLPs and don't have their GST number. So it's okay. That is patented. Okay. So if your technology is easy to snatch away, right? You kind of worry more about these things. But when you're experimenting, you don't experiment with 1,000 people, right? You make a, so you don't have to explain your idea. You never go to people and you say, oh, you have this, we think a customer have this problem, we are making this thing, do you think it will work? No, you don't do this. You do practical thing. So what you do is, let's say, I think waste management is a big problem, right? So I like whenever I go out of my house, I see a lot of kachra here and there. So I make a small MVP where I say, where I make a WhatsApp group. I add 20 people into it, and I say to them, whenever you find a kachra, a big dump of kachra, you just message in this group with a photo, right? If those 20 people do this, then I have hope that other 20 will also do. Then I will invest my money into making an app. So you think about how you can minimize your problem, minimize the product, so that you can experiment with the people. So that's how you make. So for this, look, whatever is going on in my head, you can't understand, right? I'm just asking them to WhatsApp me the photo when they see. What I am thinking is a big business plan, that I will create an app where wherever people will see the dumpster, they will message to register for their app. They should always pay 5 rupees in the front, like whenever they're downloading the app. And then if they want to get it clean, they should donate 2 rupees. Then I will also partner with Nagar Palika and told them. So whatever idea, big master plan which I have in my mind, they're not getting to know about it. So you all save your patents and everything, and though I have not registered, right? So when you talk about legal, right, there are a lot of loopholes and there are a lot of things which comes with experience. But I'm glad you are touching those points as well, and they are very important. Like you, legal is like very important thing. A lot of big startups, like big startups got screwed because they didn't do their legal work properly. And the founders, though the company sold for 200 million, 200 crores and all that, the founders didn't walk with any single rupee in their pocket. And then it's a long discussion. uh, Obviously, I actually keep doing so. I am actually doing a lot of workshops on these kind of things. They are open. They are open for all. You can just follow this page, 1000 plus entrepreneurs.com. We are doing few more workshops on entrepreneurship, conclave, and then other things as well. We talk about these things in detail because they are day long workshops, and they are all free of cost for. Most of them are like free of cost, so you can always come and join them. I'll share this deck with you guys so that you can make note of these points. And this is my phone number. This is my this actually my email ID is this. You can always reach out. You can always put a this thing. I think I'll remove my phone number for now. But yeah, this is my email ID, and you can note it down if you want to reach out with a question and you have any tech. Because we also run one program for young entrepreneurs. We kind of incubate them, help them build MVP, and then they can go to the market with their own help, or they can get into, because there are a lot of incubators, but there is nothing before incubators in the country at the moment. So that's what we do. Just please be in touch. And I think that's for now. I'm sorry, I have to kind of run for some other meeting. Otherwise, I would love to spend more time and discuss more with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Ayushi?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
session and for gracing this evening by taking out the time from your busy schedule. Your words really motivate all the students and actually give them a new way to work on their startup ideas. I would like to thank to Dr. Manju Kaushik, ma'am, who is Head Faculty Coordinator of ESL, Amity University, Rajasthan. I would also like to thank to entire team of ESL. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the lovely audience for being with us in today's session and patiently listening to it. I'm sure this session will really help you a lot with your startup ideas. And best of luck to all the teams who are presenting their presentation tomorrow. And I would request all of you to stay with us in the coming 3 days of workshop. And for any query, contact us on our official Instagram page. You will find all the updates there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Good night. Have a nice day.